Hello, everybody. Today is day 3 of Dementia Care Encouragement, daily dose of Dementia Care Encouragement. My goal with these videos is just to give you all some positive thoughts and vibes as you help those you love or you care for who are living with dementia have a better day and have you have a better day. So one of the questions that got asked the other day was from Tim, and he said, my mom will ask the same question over and over and over again. We can talk about something a minute ago, 2 minutes ago, and she repeats it. What can I do about that? So my suggestion on something like that is to take a deep breath and to remind yourself that she's still the same person that she always was, but she's a little different. And that for her, that thought that you talked about a minute ago, that conversation, it is genuinely gone. And so for her, it's brand new. So she can't change that. That's how her brain works. But guess what? We can change. We can change us. That's really the only thing that we can change in all of this crazy world of dementia, right? Is change how we respond, how we think, how we approach things. So sometimes when I worked in community life, somebody would say, well, someone's having this behavior. And I would always stop and say, okay, first, it's not a behavior, because that makes it sound like they're being bad, right? It's an expression. They're expressing something. And in this case, if she is saying the same thing over and over, it's not hurting her. It's not making her day bad. It may make it challenging for you, but that's because it's new to you. It doesn't follow in our logical sequencing, right? It's like, but I already told you that. Well, guess what? In reality, you didn't already tell them that because that moment's gone. They very much are living in the here and the now and this very moment. And so I challenge you when those times come to take a deep breath and blow out your expectations because your whole old world of expectations just says, and hey, Carrie, good to see you. Our expectations of what life should be and the way conversations should be and what responses should be are kind of go out the window now. It's a whole new game and we don't really know what the rules are. And the rules change moment to moment or day to day. So one of my favorite stories on this was when I was back in my social work master's program. And it was a story about a gentleman who lived with his family. And hey, Joyce, good to see you, my dear. It was a story about a gentleman who lived with his family, and he was living with dementia. And every day he woke up thinking it was his birthday. Every single day. That's where his mind was. That was the path he went. Now, what could you do? Okay, if you're not educated and you really don't understand how we need to change us, what you might do is say, okay, Dad, actually today is March 18th. Your birthday's in January. That happened a couple of months ago. But what are we accomplishing by doing that? Number one, it implies to him that from his mind, I'm either stupid or I'm dumb or, oh my God, I can't believe I'm so off on this, right? So you're giving him self-doubt. And so you're causing that emotion in him to get stirred up of being, fearful or mad or whatever it is. And the fact is he's not going to remember that either. So you have accomplished something. You've caused an emotional reaction in him, which is not a positive one, okay? And then 10 minutes from now or 5 minutes or an hour from now, he's going to talk about it being his birthday. So you're back to square one, but you have emotions. What I want you to remember is that with dementia, emotions are a different part of the brain. And emotions really can stay very strong, as I'm sure you've noticed. And those are good emotions and bad emotions, more harsh emotions, anger or fear, but happiness too. All of those emotions are still very rich in their mind, and you can trigger those very easily. What kind of emotions do you want to trigger? Do you want to trigger self-doubt or embarrassment or feeling like I'm going crazy by saying, hey, Dad, today's not your birthday, it was 2 months ago? Or would you say, your birthday, well, happy birthday, Dad. Or maybe break into song and sing happy birthday to him, right? Well, this particular family, they all agreed. They decided there's no reason to fight this. This is what he thinks. And you know what? Let's be honest with ourselves. Who wouldn't want every day to be your birthday? How cool would that be, right? You're the center of attention. You get happiness. And so that family, they were a big dessert family, right? My family's not, so you'd be kind of, you wouldn't get it here. But in that family, they had dessert every night with their meal. Well, guess what they had for dinner or for dessert every night? They had a birthday cake. They had a birthday celebration every single night. They sang to Dad. Dad was happy. And guess what? The next morning, it's my birthday today. I love that story because what that story does is it really exemplifies how we have to realize that we have to shift our mentality, how we look at things, how we look at what normal is. Normal is just whatever you all are doing together in a household, if they're living. And I think the compassion of that story is absolutely beautiful. You have to learn how to shed the frustration of either things not being right, the same thing being said over and over and over, and how do we break through that? Not to say that it doesn't get frustrating, but you know what? I would rather have my frustration than have them feel bad because I say, Dad, stop talking about that. I mean, how would that make him feel when he feels he's just having a conversation with you? So anyway, sometimes if you need to break the same thing over and over, they're just comfortable in that thought too. They're right there. And unless you can interject something else that might also be comfortable for them or interesting for them, or whether it be music or reading or a book or taking a walk. Dad, why don't we go outside? It is a gorgeous day outside. So give that some thought. I want to thank my sister Kitty. She sent a Facebook message today that I just loved. It shows a picture. Oh, wait, let's see here if I can switch this. I'll show you the picture and read it to you. Okay? It's beautiful. So here is Pooh and Piglet walking along. Where are we going, Piglet? Asked Pooh. Well, we need to get supplies, said Piglet, for the coronavirus. Ah, said Pooh, nodding in understanding. Things like flowers for the table and lots of books from the library and the used bookstore. And how about some cake? What shall we do if we have to self-isolate and I run out of books? Asked Piglet. Ah, said Pooh, I could sit outside your door and read to you, and you can do the same for me. I just thought that was an absolutely beautiful thing to think about. That sometimes we get all caught up in what should be or the way things have to be, and that's not it. Our reality is what we choose to make it, and if you can partner with that individual who's living with dementia, meet them in their world instead of having them meet you in your world. And maybe read them a book. If your loved one happens to be living in a community and you're not able to go visit, see if by chance they can take a phone call and maybe call and read them a story. Tell them a story. I think I mentioned this on my first call. Tell them a story about that they loved when you grew up. And, hey, Mom, remember when we went on that trip to Europe? And tell the story. And then maybe she can I totally messed that up. Don't ever say, hey, Mom, remember. That's a horrible phrase to use. I can't believe that slipped out of my mouth. But never say, hey, do you remember? Because the fact is they might not. Just say, hey, Mom, I remember the best trip we ever took when we went to Europe. And she might have some memories about that and be able to share with you. So anyway, Emily Golt and Duncan, hello. Good to see you all as well. So I hope you're having a great evening and doing a better job at staying off of social media and the news than I was today. I swear I'm going to do better about that tomorrow than today. I know. It's all crazy out there. But anyway, I hope you all are having a great evening. And if you have other ideas of topics that you all would like me to address and to help think through and give you some examples, I am happy to do that for you. So everybody, good to see you. Take care. Good night.